What happens when a small-town physical education teacher completely rewrites the rulebook of the billion-dollar music industry overnight? Good evening. I am reporting on the unprecedented financial earthquake currently echoing through the halls of major record labels across the country. In a staggering turn of events, Jamal Roberts, the breakout star from Mississippi who recently captured the hearts of 26 million voting Americans, has officially bypassed the traditional, often restrictive rookie contracts that typically bind talent show winners. Instead of settling for the standard agreements that industry insiders have utilized for decades to control emerging artists, Roberts has reportedly secured a monumental multi-album partnership. Financial analysts and industry watchdogs project this historic deal to be valued well into the mid-eight figures, fundamentally altering the power dynamics between independent artists and corporate executives. For years, the prevailing strategy within top-tier music labels has heavily favored viral, auto-tuned digital hits, prioritizing rapid social media turnover over enduring vocal substance. However, the sheer volume of undeniable public support for Roberts' raw, authentic soul sound has forced a rapid and unexpected pivot across the entertainment landscape. Confidential sources indicate that high-level emergency meetings have been convened throughout the major labels as top executives scramble to adjust their long-term strategies to this new reality. The public mandate is abundantly clear. Audiences are demanding a return to genuine musicality and emotional depth. Roberts is masterfully leveraging this nationwide demand to establish himself not just as a fleeting pop sensation, but as a formidable, independent business entity holding immense negotiating power over the establishment. How did a debut artist secure the holy grail of music contracts, a clause so rare it has left veteran performers in absolute awe? The answer lies in an extraordinary alliance with musical royalty. Our ongoing investigation into the Jamal Roberts phenomenon reveals that this groundbreaking mid-eight-figure deal was not navigated alone. Legendary musician Stevie Wonder, following his highly publicized endorsement of the Mississippi native, has reportedly taken on a deeply protective, hands-on role in Roberts' transition into the professional music sphere. According to individuals intimately familiar with the intense boardroom negotiations, Wonder acted as a crucial shield against the notoriously predatory practices often aimed at reality television newcomers. Because of this unprecedented intervention, Roberts has secured a revolutionary contractual stipulation: 100% ownership of his master recordings following a brief 5-year incubation period. To fully understand the magnitude of this achievement, one must recognize that master ownership is typically the most fiercely guarded asset by global record labels. It is an asset rarely surrendered to even the most established global superstars, let alone a debut artist signing their very first commercial contract. This master ownership clause unequivocally guarantees that Roberts will retain ultimate control over the licensing, distribution, and long-term financial royalties of his own creative output. By refusing to relinquish his most valuable intellectual property, Roberts is actively dismantling the traditional, exploitative industry model. He is setting a robust new precedent that empowers future generations of artists to demand equitable partnerships rather than restrictive employment, forever changing the blueprint of talent acquisition and artist rights in the modern entertainment era. As Jamal Roberts single-handedly redefines the economics of modern stardom, how are the traditional corporate gatekeepers fighting back to protect their rapidly crumbling empires? The reverberations of Roberts' mid-eight-figure contract have triggered what industry insiders are already dubbing the Clone Wars. Unable to control the Mississippi powerhouse, major record labels are desperately attempting to replicate his unparalleled success. Our investigative unit has uncovered that talent scouting departments have completely overhauled their acquisition strategies within the last 48 hours. The industry is witnessing a massive, immediate divestment from social media influencers and heavily auto-tuned viral internet personalities. Instead, highly paid corporate scouts are being frantically deployed back into local communities, deeply scouring gospel choirs, grassroots soul lounges, and regional theater circuits in a desperate search for the next Jamal. However, this reactionary corporate strategy is exposing a fundamental flaw in the establishment's mindset. They are attempting to systematically manufacture authenticity, a blatant paradox that contemporary audiences are immediately recognizing and rejecting. Confidential internal memos leaked from a prominent entertainment conglomerate indicate a new, deceptive directive to offer Roberts-like contracts. These are complex legal agreements designed to superficially mimic the language of artistic freedom and empowerment, while covertly retaining long-term, draconian control over an artist's publishing rights and digital royalties. Yet, the viewing public remains fiercely and exclusively loyal to the original phenomenon. Roberts has inadvertently exposed the artificiality of the mainstream pop machine, forcing a multi-billion-dollar industry to confront the harsh reality that raw, generational talent backed by genuine public mandate cannot simply be engineered in a corporate boardroom or synthesized through a marketing algorithm. What does this staggering victory over the corporate machine mean for the countless independent musicians currently struggling to be heard in an increasingly saturated digital landscape? The final chapter of this ongoing investigative saga is not merely about one man's sudden financial ascension, but rather the profound, structural ripple effect the Jamal Roberts blueprint is having on future generations of creators. We are observing a real-time cultural awakening among young, independent artists across the globe. Intensely inspired by Roberts' unyielding refusal to surrender his master recordings, emerging vocalists are suddenly and confidently rejecting predatory promotional offers that they would have eagerly signed just a month prior. Prominent independent music attorneys are reporting a massive, unprecedented surge in legal consultations as unrepresented artists suddenly demand equitable financial partnerships rather than accepting the traditional model of industry servitude. Furthermore, Roberts' newly established, Southern-based venture capital fund is already quietly financing state-of-the-art, independent recording facilities throughout the Mississippi Delta. This strategic investment is effectively creating a new, decentralized hub for musical innovation that completely bypasses the traditional, deeply entrenched gatekeepers operating out of Los Angeles and New York City. By strategically redirecting the flow of capital and creative control back to the artist's geographic origins, Roberts is laying the critical foundational infrastructure for a true independent renaissance. How are the world's largest digital streaming platforms reacting now that the most lucrative artist of the decade operates completely outside the traditional label system? As our investigative series continues, we turn our attention to the digital battleground, where the future of music distribution is currently being aggressively renegotiated. Historically, major record labels have acted as the indispensable intermediaries between recording artists and colossal streaming services, leveraging their massive catalogs to dictate playlist placements and algorithmic favor. However, Roberts' unprecedented independent status has completely bypassed this deeply entrenched corporate blockade. Industry sources are now confirming that executives from the top 3 global streaming giants have flown directly to Mississippi to negotiate exclusive digital distribution terms with Roberts and his newly formed venture capital syndicate. He is reportedly not just negotiating for himself, but is fiercely demanding sweeping structural changes to the standard streaming payout models. Confidential informants reveal that his legal team is pushing for a revolutionary tiered royalty system that would exponentially increase the baseline payout rates for fully independent artists under his Southern Arts umbrella. Furthermore, Roberts is supposedly demanding unprecedented algorithmic transparency, ensuring that his artists are recommended based on genuine acoustic merit and listener retention rather than paid corporate prioritization. By forcing these massive tech conglomerates to the negotiating table without the protective buffer of a major label, Roberts is effectively weaponizing his 26 million voting supporters to democratize the digital airwaves. He is proving that when an artist truly commands the absolute loyalty of the consumer market, the distribution platforms have no choice but to bend to the will of the creator, forever altering the digital economy of the music business. Beyond the recording studio and boardroom, How is this rising superstar managing a sudden influx of generational wealth without falling into the predictable traps of newfound fame? The financial trajectory of Jamal Roberts is extending far past the boundaries of the traditional music business, capturing the attention of major corporate entities and Wall Street analysts alike. As the ink dries on his historic record contract, our financial correspondents have confirmed that a prominent global technology giant is in the final stages of cementing a landmark endorsement deal with Roberts. This lucrative partnership is specifically centered around high-fidelity audio equipment, strategically positioning the vocalist as the premier face of the next generation of sound technology. Industry insiders estimate that his overall brand valuation has tripled in a mere 2 weeks, crowning him the most financially significant talent show victor in television history. Yet, what truly separates Roberts from his celebrity peers is his distinctly unorthodox approach to wealth management. Analysts describe his financial strategy as the invisible personalization of wealth. Rather than indulging in the ostentatious displays of luxury common in the entertainment sector, such as fleets of supercars or excessive jewelry, the former state employee is directing his capital towards sustainable community development. Roberts has reportedly acquired a modest 3-acre estate and is simultaneously launching a venture capital fund dedicated exclusively to cultivating Southern arts. Furthermore, he is heavily investing in the construction of community centers in his home state of Mississippi. This localized, community-first philosophy is not only enriching his hometown, but is paradoxically skyrocketing his marketability across the United States, appealing to a massive demographic that respects his grounded integrity. Beyond the multi-million-dollar contracts, what is the ultimate, enduring legacy being built by the former physical education teacher who brought Hollywood to its knees? While corporate boardrooms remain heavily focused on his financial masterstrokes, Roberts is quietly utilizing his unprecedented leverage to systematically reform grassroots music education across the United States. Having spent years as a dedicated state educator before his meteoric rise to global superstardom, he intimately understands the devastating impact of chronic budget cuts on public school arts programs. Through his rapidly expanding venture capital fund, Roberts has recently established a multi-million-dollar philanthropic arm specifically designed to resurrect and fully subsidize marginalized music departments in underserved public school districts. Educational analysts note that this aggressive philanthropic strategy is brilliantly twofold. It simultaneously enriches countless local communities while systematically cultivating the next generation of highly trained, fiercely independent musical talent. Furthermore, prestigious academic institutions and elite business schools across the country are already integrating the Roberts blueprint into their advanced curriculum. His uncompromising negotiation tactics, community-first wealth management philosophy, and brilliant manipulation of digital distribution channels are now being formally studied as the definitive masterclass in modern cultural economics. With the industry conquered, his financial future secured, and his cultural legacy actively in motion, what can the millions of fans who voted for this Southern sensation expect from his highly anticipated live performances? The world stage is officially being prepared for what promoters are billing as the Global Soul Summit of 2026. As we approach the final quarter of the year, this extensive international tour is already projecting massive sellout rates that industry historians are comparing to the legendary stadium tour of the 1980s. Ticket pre-registrations have impressively surpassed the 5 million mark in North America alone, highlighting the sheer scale of the public's demand. Our news desk has obtained advance copies of the tour itinerary, revealing that Roberts is slated to headline some of the most iconic and prestigious venues on the planet, including Madison Square Garden in New York, the O2 Arena in London, and massive international complexes in Tokyo. Maintaining their strict standard for audio excellence, reports indicate that every scheduled arena will be custom-fitted with specialized acoustic systems to ensure that Roberts' distinctive vocal frequency is delivered with absolute, uncompromised purity. However, Amidst the grandeur of these global metropolitan stops, a uniquely compelling detail has emerged regarding the tour's routing. The itinerary includes a series of unannounced, secret pop-up performances strategically located in small southern towns. This deliberate inclusion ensures that the core supporters who initially championed his rise from a local church to the global stage retain intimate access to his artistry. Through this dual approach of global dominance and local loyalty, Jamal Roberts is cementing a legacy that transcends mere entertainment. Jamal Roberts did not just win a televised singing competition, he successfully staged a quiet revolution. He stands as a cultural touchstone, proving that profound authenticity and unwavering integrity can still triumph on the world's biggest stages, definitively proving that the ultimate authority in the modern music industry still belongs to the voice of the people. This concludes our special report on the revolution of the music industry.